lads, what a victory!
It's finally here. Formula One in 2024.
The wait is over in Bahrain, and we are just hearing that the starting grid is on the look for a new driver. Who will it be?
I'm having trouble trying to sleep. I'm counting sheep.
And radio is good.
Here we go.
The Grand Prix is underway.
What a dramatic start. Can you believe it?
I feel like they're gonna bleed.
Yes!
Spun out of my
Oh, he's lost it.
Tap out, guys. That's it.
The pit lane's going to be alive now. They're all in.
on my own. Here we go. Mind is set on an overdrive. On my own. Here we go.
It's not every day that we get to see such incredible wheel-to-wheel racing.
Out of the final corner.
And here's our winner today!
Can you beat me?
Yes! What a race. Thank you very much for that. Thank you to the fans.
Welcome in, everybody, to round number 8 of Prowler Racing League. Tonight, we are in Bahrain. Classic 15 corners, 3.362 miles long, 3 DRS zones tonight. So we'll have plenty of action going down to turn 1, 4, and 11, hopefully. Not many people make turns at 14 and 15, but we will see what happens. Right now, we're waiting for everybody to read up. While we're waiting, let's take a look at what our team standings are. You got Mercedes out in front, 246. The Red Bulls, 202. Aston Martin, 145. Racing Bulls, 113. Haas, 92. Williams up to 6 with 81. Sauber dropping down with 72. McLaren, 67. Alpine, 51. Ferrari, 42. Drivers getting ready to head out for qualifying. And the team standings brought to you by our drivers. Zoluxi, last year's champion, out in front with 170. The Vanilla hunting her down with 159. BRT Yuki not here tonight, 95. Rasha also not here tonight, up 2 positions with 77. Sasuke dropping down with 76. He'll be looking to score some points tonight. Oscar, who is here tonight, 68, dropping down. Dynamic, not able to make it tonight, has some difficulties with his steering wheel being broken. Not able to race tonight with 62. Truth, 60. Pug Life, 50, not here tonight. And then our reserve Corey in 10th with 43, and that is your top 10. So let's head to the track. Looks like everyone's still waiting to get in, but we'll take a look at the calendar. Tonight we're in Bahrain. Next week we're at United Kingdom for a sprint race for round 9 and round 10's at Suzuka. But tonight we are at Bahrain. Let's head down to the track and get ready for qualifying. Very small fields here tonight, but that's okay. This is the end of game cycle. We have a tendency to see people dropping off as they're expecting the next game to come out. So we're just going to keep an eye on the pit lane, see who comes out. Let's get the track map up here, full map. So we like to see what happens on all the corners. It's like the Red Bull of Vanilla getting ready to move. You can see the team getting the car onto the ground, blankets off. Engineer out into the pit lane. The Red Bull heading down the track. Vanilla going to be our first car out. They'll give us a little bit of a rundown as to what the track is looking like for tonight. Quickly out. Down to the turn 1. Mind you, on this out lap, he's going to be getting the tires warmed up. So he's not going to be pushing. You see him weaving there, getting the tire pressures and the temperature up. Looks like Oscar is going to be the next car out on track with one of the Mercedes. Either Zoluxi or Sasuke, we'll find out. But for now, Vanilla leading the pack out onto the track. down to the very tricky turn 10. We'll see a lot of drivers have a little bit of difficulty locking up, getting down to that corner. Don't expect that pylon to exist very long once we get racing. Making his way onto the final straightaway before the final corners. Get his time as he comes around the final corner here. Let's get his lap timing up and see what the first timed lap of tonight will be. Following on with Vanilla, our second place driver in the championship, hunting down Zeluxi. Turn one. It's a decent exit out. McLaren getting out of the way. Good sportsmanship there. Lots. Vanilla heavily braked on the turn 4. Through the little S-bends of turn 6 and 7. For the hairpin of 8. A little bit of locking on the inside tire there. A little squirrely on the exit, but that shouldn't hurt him too much. This is only his first run for qualifying. He's probably going to get at least another run or 2 in. We have 14 and a half minutes left in the qualifying session. Heavy braking down to turn 11, going up the hill through turn 12 and around 13. Zeluxi getting the best first sector so far with a 28.2. Vanilla coming down to the final corner of 14 and 15. Onto the straightaway. DRS opens up across the line. Vanilla sets us with a 1:27.532. Next up across the line is going to be Zeluxi. Has Draco in front of her, hopefully won't hold her up as she's setting a fast time right now. She may be looking to get a toe off of the kick in front of her. Rick is also on a time lap as well. Didn't realize that. He's in his middle, in his final sector as we're coming across the line. Rick going to be coming across. And Zeluxi, the fastest time, 1:27.394. Drivers now setting time. Truth up to third with a 1:33.72. Let's go take a look at Oscar. Still in the pits, hasn't left yet. So let's go next car that's setting a time. It's gonna be C9. Doesn't look like Salt's gonna be setting a time either. Oh no, he's on track now. So he's on an out lap. C9 deploying his ERS down to nothing now. This is coming across the final 2 corners, 14, 15. Kind of a double left-hander as he comes across here. Cross line, C9 goes 6th fastest with 1:31.284. So next car we're going to keep an eye on is actually going to be Salt. He's in the middle of the track right now, hasn't set a time yet. Oscar in the pit lane has not left yet. Nobody really setting any fast times. Most of them are probably coming in for in-laps after they finish their timed lap. So let's actually head down to Salt. Keep an eye on him as he's coming around. 12 and 13. Soon to be getting onto the back straight. Keeping his energy reserves topped off. He's coming down, tire pressures, temperatures looking good. Not a whole lot of wear on him so far around the final 2 corners. A little squirrely there on the exit, but here he goes down the main straight. Salt, DRS wide open. Time starts now. Vanilla sets a fastest first sector. Not so fast on the middle sector. Not sure if he's actually going to be doing a time lap. We'll keep an eye on the map. See as he comes down to the final corners now. But right now we're with Some Good Salt as he's coming down to turn number 4. DRS is wide open. More or less open track in front of him. Vanilla looks like he dives into the pit. So he wasn't on a time lap. He was just in a hurry to get back to the pit lane and put in some fresh tires to go out again. Salt. 28.571 in the first sector. 3/10 slower than Zaluxi's right now. Only 4/10 off the fastest first sector, which is also Zaluxi. Down to turn 11. Going up the hill now. Shortly leaving sector 2. Let's see where he's at. Fastest is a 37, so he's 2/10 off the fastest time in that middle sector. So this will be a great opening lap for Some Good Salt as he's coming down to turn 14 and 15. He was down 3/10 in the first sector, 2/10 in the middle sector. Let's see what we can do across the line. Salt up to P3, the 128.357. So Oscar cross the line, starting his timed lap. Let's head down to the Aston Martin. Through the first couple corners. Coming down turn 11 for Oscar. Pulling the battery pretty evenly. He's about 40 down to 30% as he's heading up to turn 12 and 13. Salt getting out of the way. Coming down the long straightaway down to the final 2 corners. Oscar sitting at a 28.414 in the first, 37.6 in the middle. Let's see what we can do in the final. Cross line P3 for Oscar, 127.804. So right now, your pole setter, Zaluxi, with the 127.394, 10th back, Vanilla. And Oscar, P3 with 4/10 back. Almost a second back is Some Good Salt. 1.1 back is Sasuke. Keep an eye on. So far, Zaluxi still in the pits. Vanilla still in the pits. Salt and Sasuke in the pits as well. Oscar is on his in-lap, more than likely. Just over 7.5 minutes left in qualifying. So far, Truth is actually up on his middle sector compared to previous. Previous coming down the final 2 corners. Should improve on his time. Let's see what he can do across the line. Improves his time, 129.486, but does not improve position. Still currently in 6th. Here comes Brick. $129.706 to 7th for Brick. So Truth on an in-lap, Oscar on an in-lap, Brick on an in-lap now. We'll keep an eye on it. I think Oscar will come into the pits. Let's keep an eye, see where he goes. And yes, Oscar's into the pits. So your current running order is going to be Zaluxi, Vanilla, Oscar, Some Good Salt, Sasuke, Truth, Brick, and C9. Keep an eye out, see when these leaders come out. 6.5 minutes left in qualifying. Usually when we have a fuller grid, right now we only have 8 competitors out of a possible 20. We're going to hit a bit of a lull right now because all those top drivers are waiting till the clock starts to run down so they can throw their final laps in at the last moment. Some Good Salt, the first of the top 5 to head on out on an out lap. See what Truth does here. He has not improved on either sector. He's more than likely going to be coming to the pits, and he does. Truth into the pits, and then more than likely Brick right behind will be coming into the pits as well. And he does. So let's head over to the one car on track. Season 3 champion, Some Good Salt, a reservist tonight, running in the Ferrari, looking to score some good points for that team as they are sitting at the bottom of the championship right now. Salt getting his tires warmed up. We're actually going to, when he comes around, still has about a third of the lap to go. When he comes around, we're going to turn on the telemetry and we'll watch how he attacks the track here in Bahrain. 5 minutes left to go. We'll probably see some of the drivers coming out about 3 minutes left or 2.5 left to get their out lap and then go on the flying lap for the final time around. Here comes Some Good Salt around the final 2 corners, getting that Ferrari lined up to attack here at Bahrain. Full throttle all the way down to turn number 1. Heavy on the brakes for a long time on the brakes. Back on the accelerator. A little bit of a blip there as he's coming through turn 2 and 3. Full throttle down to turn number 4. Heavy, long brake through turn 4. Now this is a little bit characteristic of Some Good Salt. Long on the brakes to slow the car down. Whereas you'll see some of the other drivers like Vanilla and Zaluxi do quick jabs on the brake to slow the car down, unsettle the chassis, and get it to rotate. Some Good Salt. Personal best in that first sector, 28.490. That is... Let's see if we get the information from our timing screen. That is currently 0.2 off. Yeah, 0.2 off the fastest first sector. Here he comes out of the second sector. Does not improve on his personal best time. He's at 37.936 in that middle sector. Losing out time there. About a half a second off the fastest middle sector. Around the final corner, you can see a blip of throttle there. Aborts the lap into the pits. Some Good Salt goes. He thought he could get it done, but couldn't. So now we are out with Vanilla on an out lap. Now the tricky thing is, we're at 2:51 right now. We're going to start seeing drivers coming out of the pit lane. So unfortunately, as Vanilla is making his way around, and he's going to start that timed lap, he's going to have some traffic in front of him. You can see there the Sauber of Brick exiting the pit lane right now. More cars almost. Oscar's coming out. One of the McLarens is coming out. There's Truth coming out of the pit lane. Oscar's coming out of the pit lane. And Zaluxi out of the pit lane. 2:13 left in the session. Vanilla buying himself a little bit of time as he's coming down to the final 2 corners. Let's check out the telemetry as he comes across. Full throttle. Gets close to the wall on the inside there. Heavy braking into turn 1. You see the quick jab there, but stays on it a little bit. Ooh, little helter-skelter on the throttle there. And he invalidates. That is going to be it for Vanilla. He will not improve with only 1:30 left. That is unfortunate for Vanilla. I think we might have commentated cursed him on that one. So right now we're going to stick with Zaluxi. She's warming up her tires, coming on to the middle sector. Next across the line is going to be Brick, followed by Truth. 1 minute left in the qualifying session before the checker flag flies. Sasuke sitting in the pits, not going to go for a final timed lap. Brick across the line, starts his time. Truth across the line, starts his time. Oscar across the line, starts his time. Zalexi currently coming down. Final corners. On it, full power. Going towards that inside wall, just like Vanilla. We'll keep an eye on the times for the other drivers. We're going to keep an eye on Oscar to see what he can do in that first sector. Clean through that first little section of tires. Oscar up on his personal best time, 28.3 through that first sector. Here comes the Luxie down across the timing being fastest first sector, 28.141. On turn number 8. Having to do a little bit corrective action on the steering wheel there for countering the slide down to turn number 10. It's tricky. Here she goes. Vanilla getting across the line to get another lap in. Great move from Vanilla. We didn't catch that at first. I thought he was going to be done, but he had enough time to get around to start another timed lap. He got that battery recharged as best he could. He's already down to 44%. Zalexi going super wide there and validates. So let's head over to Oscar. Comes across the line. P3 Vanilla doing his best here. 3/10 up so far. Fastest first sector, personal best in the middle sector. Coming down to the final 2 corners, he may upset Zalexi's pole position. Heavy braking keeps it on the track between lines. Nice and clean. He may have lost a little bit of time there, but we'll see. Across the line, Vanilla P1 127.081. That is your pole position, Vanilla Spilla. Some good salt across the line. Improves his time, but stays P4. So that is it for qualifying in Bahrain. Vanilla Spilla, your pole setter, followed by Zalexi, Oscar, Some Good Salt, Sasuke, Truth, Brick, and C9. Right now, we're just waiting on C9 to either cross the line or come into the pits, but everyone else has that, and there we go, timed out. So, your pole setter, there it is, Vanilla Spilla, P1, with a 127.081. Zalexi, P2, only 3/10 back, then 4/10 back, got Oscar. Salt, 1 second back, 1.4 for Sasuke, 2.4 for Truth. 2.4 for Brick. That was a close one between those two. And C9, 3.5. Screenshot of this real quick. We'll head over to our intermission screen while we let the drivers know when they can go. Let's see here. All right, so we're giving everyone 2 minutes to get their setups set. Again, this is a very small field. Everyone will score points if they finish the race. Prowler Racing League scores top 12 in Season 5. We only have 8 runners tonight. But there is that one extra point for fastest lap is available to any of the drivers tonight because they have to be within the top 12. And we got 8. So everyone has the opportunity to get that fastest lap and score some points for their team. Again, Zeluxy, your championship leader, sitting ahead of Vanilla, your pole setter for tonight. So he's going to be looking to defend on that inside, heading down to turn 1. Unfortunately, due to the lineup for the season and drivers dropping out, unfortunately, Vanilla does not have a teammate tonight to help score points in the championship race. We'll keep a close eye on our 8 drivers tonight. We do miss some of our regulars, whether they're out for family gatherings on Mother's Day today or technical difficulties. We miss you all. We only got, after tonight, we got 2 more rounds left in Season 5. Then we're off for extended break as everyone's going to get used to the new F1 25. Coming out a few days after our season wraps up. So we're going to give everybody opportunity to get themselves acquainted with the new game and hit it hard when Season 6 starts up. And that will be announced in our Discord when it when it's announced. We don't know when it will be, but we'll see. So we're sitting here. Command for Let's Go has been sent to everyone in the paddock. Unfortunately, being in the spectator role, I can't actually see the lobby, so hopefully everyone got that message. I hear the beeps. We're good. Okay, so let's keep an eye on our screen. So we're about to get underway here at Bahrain for round number 8 for Prowler Racing League. Lights are up, lights are out, and we're off. Vanilla on the outside looking to need to move back to defend against Zeluxy. A little bit of movement there in the back of the field. Let's see how they can manage going into here. And Zeluxy gets out in front there through turn 1. But Vanilla takes it right back as we're heading up to turn number 3 onto the long straightaway. No TRS yet until the next lap. Zeluxy looking to the inside, sticks it in there. Vanilla getting hung out to dry as Some Good Salt looking to make a move as well. Side by side. 3 wide going through the chicane there. Some Good Salt getting out ahead of Sasuke and Vanilla. Vanilla losing out big time, dropping down the P4. Now, mind you, tonight there are 2 stops required for all of our drivers. So we'll see how everyone can get on with that. So far, all 8 cars are running. No damage reported on any of the cars so far. And looking at the stats right now, I think we figured out why Vanilla may have had such a poor start. He started on the mediums tonight. So Vanilla in the Red Bull and Oscar and Aston Martin both starting on the mediums where everyone else is starting on the softs. Now they will be required to make 2 stops. So looks like the soft runners are going to look to hit it hard early on to knock out as many laps as they can as they degrade those tires as fast as possible, because they will have to make 2 stops. Zeluxy setting us off with the fastest lap, that 1 extra point with a 132.899. Heading down to turn number 1, Sasuke looking for a move on Oscar or on Some Good Salt, does not make it happen. Vanilla having to defend against Oscar, the mediums against medium. DRS wide open on all these cars here in the lead pack. going to be a DRS train, I think, tonight, with most overtaking happening due to DRS. That is very powerful here in Bahrain. As we're here in Bahrain, let's give you a little bit of circuit information. The track is 15 corners long. Drivers are on full throttle 72% of the time. Fastest top speed is going to be 194 miles per hour. High downforce, high tire wear. So that's why those drivers on the softs are going to be wearing those out much quicker early on. Right now, it looks like your top three on those softs are actually wearing it down to about 12% the rear for Salt right now. 11% for both the Mercedes. Some good Salt setting the fastest middle sector here, looking to steal that point away from Zaluxy. Zaluxy does have a warning so far for track limits, and so does C9 running back in P8. Zaluxy maintains that fastest lap, 136.69 early on. Now, mind you, they're going to drop off fuel. Some good Salt going for the move on the inside. Boxing Zaluxy out, but Zaluxy on the inside through turn number 2 gets back out in front, but you got Sasuke going for the move up to P2. We got Mercedes 1-2. Let's see if those two will push each other, keep going faster, or will Sasuke drop back and defend against some good Salt. Salt getting bent out of shape there. Heading down to turn number 8. Vanilla looking for a move there as some good Salt trying to recover there. We're heading down to turn number 10. Heavy braking. Oscar staying right here with the lead pack. Let's keep an eye on what happens here. We got further back. Got a fight going on between the two McLarens. P7 to P8. You got the lone Sauber of Brick. About 8 seconds back behind Oscar, but 2.5 in front of Truth. Just going to be doing hot laps tonight. Let's see as we come down to turn number 14 and 15. Not a common overtaking spot. We'll get the DRS train chugging along here on the main straight. Everybody's wings are open. Some good Salt going the inside of Sasuke, which will put him on the outside through turn number 2. Tucks back in, thinks better of it. We'll get DRS again here onto this little straightaway. Vanilla going to the inside. Tucks back in behind. Some good Salt doesn't make it happen there. Mind you, Vanilla, the first driver on the mediums. The other risk, too, that the drivers are going to have to take into consideration for strategy is that with this reduced field, you're not going to get the common safety cars as you would with a larger field of such a variety of drivers. Your top 5 right now, very fast and very close in skill. So to see any of these drivers make any real big mistakes is going to be rare. If anything, it's going to be similar to what we saw with Some Good Salt, where the back end just got a little bit away from him. But as you can see, he retained that. He's still chugging along in P3 on those softs. Currently, the worst rear tire of those softs runner is Some Good Salt, sitting at 28% on his rears. Everyone using their ERS relatively about the same so far. Vanilla right on the gearbox of the Ferrari. Goes to the inside, which will put him at disadvantage going through turn 2. Heavy braking, gets ahead of Some Good Salt, so no worry about side by side through 1 and 2. Now Vanilla on the hunt to try to get back to Sasuke, but at the same time he's going to defend against Some Good Salt, but Salt stays right behind as we go through turn 4, heading back down through the hill. 5 and 6. Vanilla with the fastest first sector, 29.285. And heavy braking down that turn number 10 And as we predicted, that Bullard is gone. Sasuke taking defensive measures, sticking way to the inside, moving quite a bit, but not really under braking. The first move to go to the left was more or less to break the DRS. And then he just came back to the racing line. No foul there. Vanilla maintaining that P3 while this is all happening. Zeluxy out in front, 1.6. There she goes through turn number 15. Vanilla thinking about a move through 14. Not a common spot. But here you see everyone fighting good. Salt's first car into the pits for his first pit stop. Sasuke right on the gearbox there of Vanilla. So it looks like Oscar coming out onto the mediums. Started soft onto the mediums. Or Salt, I'm sorry. Salt coming out onto the mediums. Which, because we do have a smaller field, that did drop him all the way down to P8. But again, we're going to see a big change in positions as the race goes on. So Vanilla up to P2. So it's showing here the soft tires are only going to last about 9 to 11 laps. So some good Salt coming in was actually kind of early, but for some reason they are really cooking these tires. If we take a look at what we're looking at for, let's take a look at tire wear. You can see Zeluxy 41% in the rear. So they are pushing these tires to extremes. See what Zeluxy does is she comes around the final corner. She dives into pits. She does not. She just goes towards the inside wall, trying to break that toe to the cars behind. Oscar gets the memo, tucks in behind as well, not letting them work together to pull away. We shall see. Sasuke is sitting about 34-36. So Sasuke right now, compared to Truth and Sasuke actually have the worst tires so far on the softs. And C9 and Brick both came to the pits, both switched to medium. So their first pit stops are done. So we'll keep an eye on here on Sasuke, see what he does. Because right now he is fighting to defend against Vanilla and Oscar on very worn soft tires, and it should be interesting to see how the Mercedes strategy plays out on this, because you don't want to pit in the same lap because it's going to slow down the second driver, but at the same time you can't be fighting on used rubber like this. So Alexi up to 49% on her rears, 50 now for her rear tires. So let's see if she pops into the pits. Keep an eye on her dot, but we're going to stay the camera here with Sasuke as he's defending. Vanilla going on the inside on the long straightaway. So does Oscar. Sticking it to the outside, keeps it with, but Zeluxy into the pits, which forces Sasuke to stay out. And Vanilla hopped into the pits last second as well. So he reacted to Zeluxy coming to the pits, slamming on those brakes. While all this is happening, this promotes Oscar to P1, sitting on very worn rear tires on his mediums. So he's actually going to go a little bit longer. So we'll see here what Sasuke will do as we're coming down heavy braking turn 8. Coming down to the really difficult. Oh, a little bit of twitch there for Sasuke. A little bit of understeer come through turn 10. That's to be expected with the worn tires. DRS wide open. Stays tucked in behind Oscar. So with the gamble of hitting earlier, Some Good Salt actually got in between Zeluxy and Vanilla on 2-lap-old mediums. Sasuke thinking about it through turn 14. Thinks better of it. Let's see if he heads into the pits now. And he does. He dives in. Gets it slowed down just in time. You see the lockup there. Let's see how fast they can get their pit stop done. To another set of softs. 2.3 second pit stop, but he switches to softs. So Sasuke going with the attack early on. Soft. So now he will still have to do one more pit stop and switch to either the medium or the hard to finish out the race. But he's going to come out right behind Vanilla. 2 seconds back. So let's see where our total pit stops are. Everyone except for Oscar has pitted. Oscar out in front by about 16 seconds. So if math serves right, he should come out right around Sasuke. But the problem is Sasuke's on the soft. So Sasuke's going to be pushing hard against Vanilla to close that gap. He's currently 2.3 back from Vanilla. But again, he's on the softs compared to Vanilla's medium. All the while, the gap that Oscar had against Zeluxy dropping even further. Was at 16, now it's at 15-2, 15-1. So he's losing out here. Don't know if he'll pit this lap or if he'll pit next. He's getting squirrely. He's going to come in. 3.1, a little late on the turn in there. Gets a 3.1 second pit stop. Goes medium to medium. So Oscar going medium. Looking to switch to softs early on. I think if the drivers saved a set of softs from qualifying, our front runners may be switching the softs later on for their second pit stops. Your first round of pit stops are complete. Let's take a look at what our race story is. We're on lap 10 of 29. Clicking through here a little too fast. Apologies. But right now, Some Good Salt getting in between Zeluxy and Vanilla. Everybody's spreading out a little bit. The closest battle right now is Some Good Salt hunting down Zeluxy, which gives us time to go over a race story. Zeluxy started P2, but had that inside moving down to turn number 1. Currently in first place, switches from softs to mediums. And then we've got Some Good Salt. Started fourth up to P2. Vanilla, our pole setter, unfortunately dropping down to P3. But he ties Oscar for drop down. Sasuke up 1 position, start 5th, in 4th. Then we got Oscar down 2 positions. And Sasuke gets an extra point so far, 134.89 for the Mercedes driver. Oscar dropped down from P3 down to 5th now. Brick, 7th up to 6th, moving up 1 spot. Truth dropping down behind Brick. Started 6th into 7th. And then C9 breaking even, started 8th in 8th. Right now we're going to stay here with the camera on Truth as he makes the move on Brick down to turn number 1. Keeps it clean, coming through. Brick does have 2 warnings so far. He did get a warning from the stewards last time out, getting excessive time penalties for corner cutting. So he's going to keep a close eye on that tonight, or he will get some penalty points, which will really not be helpful for next week in Silverstone. Let's take a look at what the gaps are right now. This currently our closest battle, half a second between Truth and Brick. Let's see what they are. Brick's going to get DRS here, but he's too far back to make anything happen. Oh, Truth loses it. Oh, tough break coming out of the final corner out of sector 2. Lost a whole bunch of time there, allowing Brick to get through. But at the same time when that happened, Brick actually picked up a 3-second time penalty. Which is, he's now going to have to build that gap to Truth. It's currently at 2.3 seconds. He needs to get up to 3 seconds at least by the end of the race to maintain position. But he's currently about 25.5 seconds back from Oscar in P5. So let's head back up to our leader, where closest battle is. Zeluxy out in front. See what the system says. To Some Good Salt behind. Coming down the main straightaway. Salt getting DRS on Zeluxy. Heavy braking right on her gearbox, not letting her get away. We have a little bit of a timing issue. I think it might be a telemetry issue. Sometimes Some Good Salt, his system doesn't display correctly. So let's go to Some Good Salt and let's go with the gap ahead. That should give us a better, there we go. So now we can see the live gap between Some Good Salt and Zeluxy. Before we couldn't get the time off of Zeluxy to Salt. So we'll go the other way around. Closing in on those corners there. So we'll get DRS as we're heading down turn number 11. Closing in, but still too far back to make anything happen down to turn 11. On the power up the hill through turn 11 through 12. Across that middle sector line through 13. So we now head down the hill towards turn 14. Now this is a long straight, but no DRS. Salt sitting at 80% battery compared to Zeluxy sitting at 52. She's having to use that battery to defend. But Salt not using his battery, relying solely on DRS. That's why that gap doesn't really close down a whole lot. Zeluxy is using ERS to defend, while Some Good Salt's using that rear wing to open up and close it in. But at the same time, it's a little tricky because I believe the DRS detection zone is at the end before turn 1 for the second zone. So if you make the pass before that detection zone, whoever you pass will get DRS on you between turns 3 and 4. Truth catching up to Brick. 3/10 back, 2/10 back. Going down to turn number 1. Truth and Brick battling back and forth. Truth out in front, heading down to turn number 4. Gap growing bigger. Right now, we're keeping a close eye here on Some Good Salt, hunting down Zeluxy, your championship leader, your current race leader. We're on lap 14 of 29. Still within a second, going to get DRS. You can see that rear wing open up. Currently 6/10 back. I think it's too far back to make a move heading down to turn 1. Keeps it behind Zaluxy, going to get that DRS into the next sector. Ooh, a little bit sideways there for Salt, going over the curb. DRS to close it down again to about half a second. Some good Salt on 9-lap-old mediums compared to Zaluxy's 7. So take a look at the average clean laps for our drivers. You can see some good Salt on average 500ths slower than Zaluxy. Brick with another corner cut. It's up to 4 so far. 3 of them resulted in a 3-second time penalty. Looking to collect more as he is battling it very close right now with Truth. That's your average clean lap. Sorry. Average lap, you're looking at 133, 140 for Zaluxy. Still 500ths slower for some good Salt to Zaluxy. He's going to be giving her a run for her money tonight. Let's take a look at tire wears. Salt hurting on those rear tires, 56%. He's going to be looking to get off those as soon as possible. Oh, you can see the back end getting very unsettled. That is down to those rear tires absolutely being cooked. They're predicting for the mediums 12 to 14 laps. He's currently on lap 10 on those mediums. So Salt more than likely going to be having the pit soon. We're on lap 16 of 29. Zaluxy's saying at 49% on her rears. 10% better, but only due to 2 laps, really. So that gap just hovering right around 6 seconds between Brick comes into the pits. Brick switching to the hards, finish out this race. And C9 into the pits. Let's keep an eye on here. Let's see what some good Salt does if he decides to come into the pits. 62% on those rears, and he does. He dives in to get off of those mediums. And it looks like Vanilla and Sasuke also coming into the pits. Salt going to the hards. 2.3 on the pit stop. Sasuke 2.3 as well. He goes to mediums. Vanilla going to the hards. So Sasuke going to try to make those tires last another 12 laps. We saw how quickly those wore out. Keep a close eye on that. So right now, you got Zaluxy lapping C9. Currently sitting at 55%, or is Oscar, who pitted late, pretty much last out of everyone. 7 laps on his. Coming through. Now, Truth also on 9 laps on his mediums. His tires lasting a lot better than Zaluxy. I think it's because Zaluxy pushing so hard to defend against some good Salt. Right now, that gap only 22 seconds from Zaluxy to Salt. So if Zaluxy pits now, which she elects to do, she may lose the lead. Let's see if she can do a fast pit stop. Oh, he got a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That basically ruins her race for tonight. Switching to the hards. 2.3, so it was a good stop. Fantastic stop, but thrown away with that 10-second penalty of speeding in the pit lane. And Oscar pitting at the same time. There you can see some good Salt coming down Turn number 1, Zoluxi stays out in front, but now she's going to have to work super hard to build a 10-second gap to Some Good Salt. So as we take a look, I believe everyone has completed except for Truth. Everyone has completed their pit stops. Let's see. Look where Truth is. I think Truth is coming to the pit. Yes, Truth is coming to the pit now. So everyone's 2-stop requirement for tonight is complete, or will be momentarily. So now it'll just be straight up racing where everyone is. Sasuke, the only driver to elect to go to mediums. Zoluxi getting very out of shape down to turn 10. Allows Some Good Salt to get right on that backside there. So yes, everyone has completed 2 pit stops. So we're good there. So let's take a look at what the intervals ahead are. Zoluxi defending against Some Good Salt. Much closer than where they were before. Let's see if Some Good Salt goes for moves to the inside, gets P1, but they're going to cross that DRS line. So now Zoluxi will have DRS. Some Good Salt will not. Zoluxi's rear wing opens up. Sasuke with 3-second time penalty. So fastest first sector for Some Good Salt as well on those hard tires. Sasuke has the fastest middle sector. Let's see what Some Good Salt can do here on this lap. Zoluxi not letting him get away. Personal best through that through the second sector for both Some Good Salt and Zoluxi. Zoluxi not letting him get away. Laps left to go. Zoluxi on the inside up to turn number 1. Makes the move. Gets it done. But unfortunately, I think where she did the overtake, that is going to allow Some Good Salt. Use DRS. There he goes. Down, or up, I should say, to turn number 4. Not a great overtaking spot. So he tucks in behind, stays with Zoluxi. See if he makes a move down to turn number 10. Don't think he will, because it's not a very common overtaking spot, but he's not letting her go. There you see Vanilla coming up behind in 3rd place. Right now you have Season 4 champion being chased by Season 3 champion. Now mind you, Some Good Salt not in the running for the championship for Season 5, as he is a reservist, but your 2nd place in the championship right now, Vanilla Spill in P3, doing his best to hunt down and get closer. As it stands right now, Vanilla will inherit. I believe right now, if we look at it, Zoluxi will more than likely drop down to P4. So we're 9 laps left to go. Some Good Salt getting past Zoluxi. Ooh, we got a McLaren getting all bent out of shape down there at turn number 1. Luckily, gets out of the way of everyone else to not cause any issues. No safety car again for tonight. Reduced field, we only got 8 drivers, so a safety car is very unlikely. But as you can see here, Zoluxi does have 10 seconds of penalties. which will more than likely drop her down to P5, if not worse. But I think right now, because of the gaps, we got 3.5 back to Vanilla, another 3.5, and then 4.6 back to Oscar. So I think she'll probably drop down to at least P4, P5. But knowing Vanilla, he'll make that. Oh, we got a yellow flag. We got a McLaren around again. That is going to be C9 having a heck of a time tonight. No damage on the car, but I think it's just doing his best to get out of the way due to blue flags, not holding anybody up. And turn number 10 is very tricky. If you get that wrong, you can spin the car around very easily. Let's take a look here. So Brick does have 3 seconds, but C9 is currently 46 back to Brick, so that's not going to factor there. Then we've got Sasuke with 3 seconds. Which he is currently 4.6 out in front of Oscar, so Oscar needs to pick up the pace to close that gap. Well, let's keep an eye on, because Sasuke is on the mediums, like we said. He's at 23% on his rears already, so he's going to be losing grip pretty soon. He's going to be in that graining phase. And we saw it before, the mediums did not last more than 12 laps. And that's what he has to make these survive, but if he's going to understeer like that through turn number 8, they will not last very long. So let's go check it back out again. We've got Zeluxi out in front, being chased down by Some Good Salt. Some Good Salt will inherit P1 as long as he stays within 10 seconds, which he's currently 0.7 behind. And then we got Vanilla, P3 on the track, P2 in the championship. This will be a great result for him in the championship, because this will have him finish ahead of Zeluxi, meaning scoring more points than Zeluxi. But Zeluxi responds with the fastest lap, getting that extra point that she'll need from losing, at this point, 2 positions. Probably drop her down to 3rd. 3rd or 4th, but it's probably gonna be 3rd. So, your current on-track leader, Zeluxi, followed behind very closely by this driver, Some Good Salt. Getting very sideways through turn 8, heading down to 9 and 10. The gap growing ever so slightly to Zeluxi, but still within DRS. As you see the rear wing go, no, it doesn't use it. There it goes. Wasn't using it for half the DRS zone, or it was just a visual glitch. Not sure which. Currently sitting 6/10 back from Zeluxi. Then you got our second driver in the championship, Vanilla. He made clean all race. Unfortunately, was our pole setter, dropping down to P3. That's where he's been sitting for most of the night. Unfortunately, not able to race anybody. Just putting hot lap in after hot lap. C9 with front wing damage. Looks like he spun out through turn 10. He's going to be limping it back around to try to get a new wing on that car. We're on lap 24 of 29. Then you got Sasuke with 3 seconds of penalties on the mediums, trying to make these last as long as possible. 35% wear on the front, 33 on the rear. Oscar, P5. All of his batteries pretty much gone, rocking down to almost 12% there through turn 1. Then heading back to the final corner, you got, oh, that's actually not. Final corner is C9. Truth coming through turn 11, followed behind by Brick with his 3-second time penalty. You got C9 coming into the pits, get that front wing changed out. See the end plate's missing. Switching to another set of mediums, getting that front wing changed. Exiting out, coming onto the fast lane of the pit lane. Very smooth stop for the McLaren, even with that wing damage. Getting the blue flag to get out of the way of the Sauber. Tucks right back in behind. So let's head back up to the front. Zoluxi with her 10 seconds of penalties. Defending against Some Good Salt. Gap growing ever so slightly. But Salt staying within a second of Vanilla or of Zoluxi. Vanilla currently 4.4 back. Sasuke was 7.8 back behind Vanilla. So as it stands right now, Zoluxi will drop down to P3. Some Good Salt will inherit the win. There'll be 2 race wins in a row for our reserve and champion of season 3, Some Good Salt. Down through turn 14 and 15. Zoluxi brings us across the line. 4 laps left to go. Here is your leader being chased down by Some Good Salt into turn number 1. Some Good Salt still getting a little squirrely on the rear tires there. As we head down, we actually have a close battle here between Oscar and Sasuke. Sasuke on the very worn medium tire, 45% wear, to Oscar being on the hards, only a lap younger, but much more life in those tires. Sasuke does have 3 seconds of time penalty, so Oscar will inherit this position. Doesn't need to fight it, but he wants to make this happen on track. Sasuke taking defensive through down to turn number 10. Oscar using DRS, tucks him behind Sasuke. Again, turn number 11 is not a really good overtaking spot, so not surprised that Oscar just tucked in and let it happen. Over the crest of 13, heading down to turn number 14. Oscar sitting at 98% on his ERS battery compared to Sasuke sitting at 68. Oscar could use, and he is, deploying on the straightaway here with DRS. They go to that inside wall. Oscar goes to the outside, which puts him into a really good spot through the next sector, or a couple of corners. But Sasuke tucks in right behind. And Oscar just starts to run away with it. Sasuke coming back with the DRS. Too far back to make anything happen. With that 3 seconds, Sasuke is safe. He is roughly 59 seconds ahead of Truth. So no worries about that 3-second penalty that he has. Oscar setting the fastest first sector. Now it's all down to him and Sasuke fighting it out. As you see, Oscar just pulling away from Sasuke. Sasuke sitting at 52% on his tires, front and rear. It's pretty very even tire wear for Mercedes. Coming around turn 13, 2 laps left to go. Your leader, Zluxy, out in front by half a second with a 10-second time penalty. Sasuke drops it into the pits. He did not want to be on those tires anymore. Those mediums were pretty shot. Sitting at 54 in the front, 55 on the rear. Switches to another set of mediums. Probably didn't have another set of softs in reserve to wrap the race up. He's still far enough ahead of Truth that exiting the pit lane will not be a problem. See what the gap is as he comes out. 25 seconds back from Oscar now. $59 back to Truth. So head back up to our leaders. We're actually coming up on lap traffic pretty soon. Not sure if Some Good Salt knows that Zluxy has that 10-second penalty. He's pushing hard. As we come down the main straight, we are now across the line, starting our final lap. Some Good Salt going for the lead right away, looking to push hard. He wants to win this on track against last year's champion. Here we go, season 3 champion leading season 4 champion. Down to turn number 4. Zluxy not letting him get away. I still don't think that Some Good Salt knows that Zluxy has that 10-second penalty, so he's going to be defending and racing his heart out right here on the final lap. Two cars ahead will more than likely be getting a blue flag as they get closer here. Zluxy dropping back to half a second. McLaren getting out of the way of the leaders. Some Good Salt now a half a second out in front of Zluxy. Sasuke with another 3 seconds. That's up to 6 now, but the gaps don't really matter much for that penalty. Brick getting the blue flag. Let's see if he gets out of the way or if he continues on. He continues on, so we're going to have a whole nother lap to finish. Oh, no, he gets out of the way just in time as we're coming across the line. Some Good Salt first across the line. Zluxy P2. Next up, we got Vanilla getting that position from Zluxy due to penalties. So, Some Good Salt out front, P1. Zluxy P3. Across the line, P4. Sasuke saying the fastest middle sector. He might steal the extra point away. Who has the fastest lap? I don't know. Here it goes. Across the line. Sasuke. Fastest lap. 129.612. Gets the extra point. Across the line. Finishes the race. P5. And here's our last runner on the track, Truth. Truth breaking even, started 6th. Into 6th, coming down the final straightaway. Round turn 14, around turn 15, onto the straightaway. Cross the line. Your winner, Some Good Salt, out in front. Seeing Zluxy with 20 seconds. That can't be right. Pretty sure it was just 10. Everyone completing their 2 pit stops, mandatory for tonight. Your winner there on the podium, Some Good Salt, followed by Vanilla P2, Zaluxy P3. We saw a lot of degradation tonight that was unexpected. We knew it was a high degradation track, but everyone was running ragged, it looked like, towards the end there. Let's get a screenshot of that real quick. Okay, so that is going to do it for tonight. Your winner, Some Good Salt, going soft, medium, hard. Vanilla, medium, medium, hard. Zaluxy, soft, medium, hard. Medium, medium, hard for Oscar. Sauce-off, medium, medium for Sasuke. Soft, medium, hard for Truth. Soft, medium, hard for Brick. And soft, medium, hard, medium for C9. Again, your winner, Some Good Salt, Season 3 champion, beating out Season 4 champion Zaluxy. Zaluxy, unfortunately, getting the 10-second penalty for speeding the pit lane. So that's going to do it for tonight. For Prowler Racing League. Next week, we're in United Kingdom in Silverstone 4 Sprint Weekend, so it's going to be a long night. Hopefully, we'll get some more attendance, but we'll see as it is the end of the game cycle for F124. We'll be starting F125 in a few months' time, but for now, this is Season 5 of Prowler Racing League. We just finished up Bahrain. Next week, we're in the United Kingdom, then we're into Japan to round out the season. We'll hope to see you guys next weekend. Have a good one.